So I told you I was gonna happen. It ain't happened yet, but unless something dire happens in the Illinois Senate, like the Chicago Bears is on their way to Northwest Indiana. Let's talk about it.
I'm from Gary where the steel turn cold, but the love run deep and the stories go bold. Yeah, the city made me put that on my soul. 29 in my veins, that's all I know. From the west to the east, we rise, we grow. Part of the region, yeah, we built on hope. Ain't perfect, but it's still my home. Gary on my back everywhere I go. I was raised on the blocks where the legends came. MJ made the world watch, now we carry that flame. Ain't Hollywood, but the hustle insane. If you grew up in the G, then you built for the pain. We don't fold, now we built too strong. Turn a hard situation to a power we own. Seen the mill shut down, but we still hold on. We survive every season like a Midwest storm. Yeah, the city taught me how to stand on 10. How to spot real love when the world pretend. I rep the G, not ashamed of the skin I'm in. If you know, then you know that's family then. I'm from Gary where the steel turn cold, but the love run deep and the stories go bold. Yeah, the city made me put that on my soul. 29 in my veins, that's all I know.
So in today's podcast, how can Gary win big even if the Bears Stadium lands in Hammond? All right, let's get into it. Okay, so everybody talking about how the Chicago Bears possibly could be coming to Northwest Indiana. Right now, all signs seem to be pointing toward Hammond. Because I mean, when the state came up with their bill, then that was the spot that they proposed. So I don't know. For me, Gary would be a better option only because of like the land or the area. We got one good place. Like they offered up 3 spots, but they got one good place. But just because the stadium is being built in Hammond, that don't mean that Gary still can't capitalize on the fact that the Bears becoming Northwest Indiana. So let's be real. Hammond is the state safe pick, right? You know what I'm saying? Like Gary got too bad of a stigma attached to it you know, but that's the purpose of what I'm doing and what from what I see a lot of people been doing out here is trying to change the narrative of Gary. You know what I'm saying? Because the people that live here, the people that been here, you know what I'm saying, we deserve better in the city than just what a old reputation is of it, if you know what I'm saying. But in my opinion, Hammond would be good. Like Hammond would be good for the stadium. But like as far as like a big ecosystem and entertainment, all that to be combined with the Chicago Bears out here, Gary is the spot for it. You know what I'm saying? Like we already got casinos, we already got the baseball park, and with all this prime land, all kind of entertainment can be set up here. Plus, we don't even have our own media hub yet. A stadium of that size and that magnitude will bring a lot of it in. You know what I'm saying? Hammond might get the stadium, but Gary got something that Hammond doesn't. It's called identity. Gary got the history, the culture, the lakefront, the creative energy, and the space to build something rather like larger than what the stadium actually is. Like when you got fans that can't afford to go to games or, you know, can't afford to the parking and all that, then where do they go? They go to the restaurants, they go to bars, go to festivals, they go to different events. And Gary, the way Gary come together, like we known for like putting together a party. Like you have different promoters out here that do different things, and now the bars out here can actually like gain a little traction by sport parties like Sunday night football, night football, Thursday night football, Sunday games. Even though a lot of the restaurants do them, but anything around the stadium can deliver it like to a better degree. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be to a point to where like you will walk into a bar and the environment of it all will be just crazy because the stadium is right there. So you know what I'm saying? You feel that energy. I don't know if anybody ever drove down Lakeshore Drive while Bears game is going on, especially last year. You can feel the streets rumbling from that stadium. Just think if they put a newer, more advanced, more up to date stadium out here. Just think how that would be. You get a Super Bowl, you get Final Four, you know what I'm saying? You get different concert events. You know, we won't have to worry about going across the border to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Paying them high taxes, paying them high parking fees and everything for that. Even though I believe that if the stadium do come here, then it might raise some taxes around here. You know, that's something else to talk about. So my ideas is that the stadium will create spillover, meaning that the anything that you know what I'm saying that goes on at the stadium or around the stadium will start filtering out to Gary. You know what I'm saying? Because from Hammond is just what a 5 minute drive to Gary, depending on how deep you are in Hammond. You know what I'm saying? Hammond got some stuff, but Gary got a lot more stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then you have it where Illinois is just right there. So a lot of the fans that's not in Chicago, that's in the surrounding suburbs, it's easy for them to get to the stadium. Easy. Even though the stadium will bring a lot of traffic and all that. But like it's easy. It'll be easier to get to the stadium in Hammond than it did in Chicago. Especially downtown, Lakeshore Drive, the lakefront area. It was hard. Believe me, I've been there a few times. And the traffic in and around Soldier Field is ridiculous. The parking is ridiculous. Like you paying just as much for the parking as you paying for a ticket. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, like this created a lot of opportunities for Gary. A whole lot of opportunities. And then us podcasters, you know, and content creators, you know, we have a lot of content to be able to make surrounding the Bears in Indiana. So that feeds us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. A lot of people will disagree with me. You know what I'm saying that it's not a good idea, or you'll have a lot of people in Illinois that really hate the idea, like really, really hate the idea. Because I remember years ago, I don't know, maybe 15, 20, maybe longer than that, when the Bears used Indiana as a ploy so they could get renovations done to Social Field. And like the city of Chicago lost their minds. I mean, like you hear people coming over here and making content, talking about it's a swamp, and I mean they went in on Gary. You know what I'm saying? It was ridiculous. They went in on us, y'all. That shit was crazy when they thought the Bears was coming. But now it's more of a reality now. You know what I'm saying? The state of Illinois ain't really putting the Bears on any kind of priority list. You know, even though the ecosystem around the Bears brings in a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? But I guess it's a lot of politics weighing in it. And from what I hear from Chicago, is like the Bears owe the city so much money as far as paying back for the renovations to the stadium. Uh, they still got a decent amount of years left on their lease. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. It's like the narrative has kind of shifted now. Like a lot of them, they don't want the taxes. They don't want that. You know what I'm saying? They but rather the Bears move across the state lines. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like it's far. It's not like it's out of reach. You know what I'm saying? They could still be the Chicago Bears. He's right there on the line. It's called Chicagoland for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And so they really wouldn't be losing anything, but they'll be gaining some breathing room as far as the Texas. And that might be what the Illinois politicians are really, thinking about when they got the Bears Stadium like low on the priority list. I know the Bears want to stay in Chicago, but they have the Arlington Heights property. But from what I hear, the Arlington Heights property ain't falling through because the state is holding it up. So as far as that, I don't know. But like we can really like capitalize off this because people will become you can get hotels built, you get restaurants built and actually succeed, you get shopping centers built, and Gary finna get a convention center. So a lot of stuff is changing around here and a lot of things are upgrading and are coming up. That's why my whole thing is I love the fact of forgot I thought I turned them alerts down. But a lot of it is really changing the viewpoint of Gary, changing the narrative on it. And in previous podcasts I focused a lot on the history. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't know where we came from, then we don't know where we're going. So I focused on a lot of the history in the beginning. And I'll be going back and forth from, you know what I'm saying, history to present to what could be, you know. And this is like a very exciting time because long term tax revenue, long term investment possibilities, long term stability, you know what I'm saying? This could really bring our city up. Just for my people, you know what I'm saying, out here, invest in your city. Because you don't want outside people coming in and taking everything. You know what I'm saying? Value a piece of property, value a piece of land, open that business that you've been wanting to open. You know what I'm saying? Do the things that you've been wanting to do in the city and for the city. Because when the outside developers and everybody start coming in, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have some kind of investment into this city, then you mess around and get pushed out. So invest in the city, buy a small piece of property. You know what I'm saying? If you had to put a garage on it, put a small house on it or something, you know what I'm saying? Invest in your own city because you don't want to spend all these years, you know what I'm saying, putting into something that eventually you just out of there, you know? I don't know, that's just for me, you know what I'm saying? Let's get back into this. Let me see. We got transportation and logistics. Gary has an airport. Gary has train stations. We have a harbor, trucking corridors. You see what I'm saying? Like potential. I put up a picture a little while ago of the future of Gary, and it was a little more to hype my documentary that I'm working on. And this man commented, "That's not Gary." So I commented back, "That's what Gary could be." Then somebody else commented, "If you're gonna do a documentary, then you have to put up the real picture of Gary." There are plenty of historical pictures of Gary up on my channel, up on my pages. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to see Gary in a bright light. They don't want to see Gary as a futuristic landing spot for a lot of stuff. They want Gary to stay where it was. You know, they don't want to see us come up because we're a predominantly black city, black mayor. So they don't want to see this come up. But what they don't know is that black people are so resilient, so smart, so creative, so determined that it doesn't matter what you do, how you try to keep us. We're going to succeed and we're going to go beyond what your narrative is. And that's what this is. It's a nerd's eye view. Yeah, and I'm going to keep pushing it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So here's the bottom line. If the Bears come to Indiana, Hammond gets the building, but Gary gets the boom. Gary has the land, Gary has the culture, Gary has the lakefront, Gary has the creative energy, and a strategic position to become a real capital of the Bears move. Now, for a lot of us, especially those of us that's really putting into our city, this is bigger than football. It's about regional identity, economic transformation, and rewriting the narrative of Gary, Indiana. It's your boy, Big Franco. Listeners, have you like, share, comment? Let's talk about all this. If you agree with me, put it in the comments. If you don't agree with me, put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Nothing gets done without a conversation.
Ooh, and it hit different in the 219, but the warmth and the people always hit just right. A city full of fighters, yeah, we built to survive. Gary in my blood to the end of my lair, where the steel turned cold, but the love